Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
Laurie, you seem pleased. You seem pleased to be here this morning. How you doing?
You know what? I hate you. Forward to this Saturday of letting just, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let my brain rest, my body rest. And then I get a text in the morning from Jackie going, can we do this now? Basically.
Well, basically, but here's the thing. Here's the good news. Glass half full, right? Elliot Kashian lives.
No, glass empty, glass shattered.
Yeah.
There's glass on the ground and you're making me walk across it in bare feet.
Well, just think about how spiritual those people are that can walk on glass.
To joke your way out of this atrocity, okay?
It's right. It'll be over, and then you won't have to think about it for the next 3 days. That'll be
About this for the next 3 weeks. This text that I got on my day of relaxation. You interrupted me on Shabbat. I think that's the right metaphor. You asked me to turn the lights on Shabbat.
A lot of people don't know this about Laurie. She's wearing a wig at all times. So
I am an Orthodox Jew, guys. I've been hiding it from you.
And the reason she has a child is because of the hole in that sheet. You know what this was? Disrespectful of a very of a very intense religion that I don't want any part of.
Disrespect to me and my day off. That's what I thought you meant. I wasn't thinking of Judaism at all.
At all. Well, see, that's the kind of Jew you are, aren't you? Yeah, thanks a lot. Well done. So, where are you working the next 2 weeks? What do you got? 3 weeks? I mean, it's Christmas almost, so probably taking that off, I imagine.
Taking Christmas night off, of course. Well, you know, I'll be at the Dead Crow in Wilmington, North Carolina, the 27th, 28th, right after Christmas. Fly it out on the 26th, so I get there in time. And then I'll be at the Stand, all 6 shows on New Year's Eve. Then in January, I will be at the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins, the 3rd and 4th. Mid-January, I'll be at Hasbrook Heights. I'll be at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. I will be at Acme February 8th through the 5th through the 8th in Minneapolis. And then Moon Tower. We're both going to be at Moon Tower in
April, May, something like that. Yeah. Okay. So next week I'm at Dr. Grin's in Grand Forks, and then it's Christmas, and then I think that'll be my last one for the year, and then I'm at the DC Loft the first weekend of January, and then I'm at Comedy Works Denver South. So feel free to come to that. And JackieKashian.com, LaurieKilmartin.com for extended more information. And if you go to the podcast page on Laurie's website, you can see videos of this particular show. We also have a Patreon, and the Max Fun is our umbrella. What's it called? We're part of a lovely group. Network.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can support us in a lot of ways, guys, because the industry is not supporting us in any ways.
But you were just in San Diego, so you're in Arizona right now, right?
Still on the road, Jackie. Still on the road. I was in San Diego on Thursday. It was fun. It was a long fucking drive. It was a fun show. And then it was a long fucking drive back. And my car was had a bunch of lights were staying on. So I rented a car. So the limited profits I did make in San Diego partially went to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. and now I'm in Arizona. I'm at the Mic Drop Mania. It's a fun room. It's a small room. You know, I had some fun shows with lots of jokes about how there aren't many people in the audience. And my tiny crowds loved it. Okay. But, you know, I don't know. I'm like, am I going to be working next year? I barely have any dates. Am I still a comic? I don't know.
But you're definitely a writer. So you got that going for you.
Makes me feel better. Am I a writer?
so? I think you told me you
Anyone
had a
can
couple
call
of
themselves
gigs.
one.
Right, but I thought you
Gigs,
had some
things that end.
gigs. Well, I have news from last week's show, shall I? The airline that I was talking about, that Brian Regan was talking about, that was sort of a private plane, but not a private plane, that one of the fans put as a comment that it's actually called JSX airline, and they are owned by JetBlue. And maybe that's why he's mint, is because he's bumped the extra $100 or so. Mosaic, not mint. Yeah.
Fly out of Mint's the service. Mosaic is the designation.
Yes.
Sorry, Jackie. It takes a mosaic to explain this to the non-mosaics. JSX goes out of Burbank?
Yes. So note to self, right?
My note to myself.
That's it. The other thing that I forgot to tell you from last week is you won't be surprised, but we were on the tour. We were in a car. It was me, the tour manager, and the bus driver. We're in an like a Lyft or an Uber or something, going to the club, going to the something, and you will not be surprised that when there is no asshole in the car, I have to fulfill that vacuum.
Jackie, you're always the asshole in the car, and so
yeah, I'm not.
I won't be not angry about this for at least half this podcast.
Okay, well, then talk amongst yourselves. Here's okay, but I'm going to tell you. Then you'll be happy to hear this story, which was David was telling. There was just sort of rattling around, telling stories about the industry or whatever. And at one point, so there's the driver we don't know, and then there's the bus driver sitting next to me, and tour guys in the front, the tour manager. And so David, the tour manager, is talking about how he, for a short amount of time, he dated Ron White's manager. And there was this pause while I waited for someone to say the jackass thing, and then no one said it. So I said, what was his name? And then I got a laugh, but it was also, and then David was like, because he's not a comic, but he goes, wow, I have two things to say. One is that I wish I had come up with a good comeback to that, and two, that's hilarious. And I said, and three, I'll never work with Brian Regan again. Is that something? And so
wait, so your joke was implying that whoever was dating the manager was gay?
there was a homosexuality reference that was referenced. Yes, it was another great example of me just writing on the fly and how amazing it can be.
Good one, JK.
Yes. So I also, my web guy, I had to take the challenge coins off of my website because I sold out of them. I've only had them on the website for 6 years. And somebody ordered one, and I had to like rattle around and look in like a jewelry box for one. And I sent it off.
So it was from Jackie's personal collection. You should charge more for that one.
Exactly. Lauren, I think her name was, who ordered it. Yeah. I sent her a couple of stickers in an effort to somehow make it okay that it didn't have the plastic bag that it came in, the little plastic. But at least she got one. That's what I have to say. And I told my web guy to take it off the store, JackieCationStore.com. And then I asked him if he was going to be in Chicago because he lives in Illinois, and he actually lives closer to Peoria. And we started talking about that club in Peoria. Have you done that club?
I don't know what to do.
Oh, there we go.
Lean in is what you need to do because it worked.
To do a podcast when I'm at home instead of not at 10 in the morning on a Saturday. That's what I need to do when I'm on the road with no equipment.
Well, there's that. And everyone, Jackie at JackieCation, your rage, please.com. Yeah. So did you do Peoria? I never did get an answer to that. All
No.
right. Well, it's a weird club. It's right next to something called a gentleman's club, and there's every single comic does a joke about the gentleman that they see walking in, and it's across the street from a racetrack, like a stock car racing loop. So Saturday night you could hear the racing.
To me, you've just described a perfect gig. Like, how come it's not on my calendar?
Well, you talk to Bruce about that. He'll hook you up. It's a great opportunity. Yeah. I did an interview with
Jackie, did
Say it
you
again?
the Peoria Club? I thought there was a story attached to it.
Oh, it was not positive. I realized that you wanted to work it, so I thought I wouldn't tell that story.
The worse the club, the more I want to work it. Can't you look at my calendar? I think that's evidence. Go ahead, tell me.
Okay, so you know how so the owner of the club, if you've made a reservation and you have and you're supposed to have people come and you don't show up by the time of the club, he will call you and ask you where you are.
I'm sorry, what's wrong with that?
Well, that's the funny part. It goes even further. It goes. He will sometimes, if you've made an appointment you've made a reservation for 6 people and there's only 2, he will literally berate you, and he's not kidding. And it's
Like, what are people thinking? They take 6 seats and they only come with 2. Yeah, they should be yelled at. Okay. Yes.
oh, you're gonna love
Keep
this
going.
club. You're gonna love this club. The bartender tries to give away free tickets to the gentleman's club to some of the audience members because he gets a kickback if anybody goes over there afterwards. And I walked in, I was up getting my
What?
signature. Oh, I know. I walked up to the bartender, essentially just harassing this waitress in all the terms possible to get a Diet Coke cranberry, as is my wont. And I hear him, she said, he said something about her outfit, and she said, well, it's just a skirt. It's something about her skirt, and he goes, I'd like to see under your skirt. Let's see under your skirt. Open up you wearing any underpants? You're probably not wearing any. And it just went on like that for like 12 to 20 seconds. And I just yelled across the bar, what the fuck is going on? And she turned to me and said, right? So that's the last time I worked there.
Sorry, but that's a club that needs more female headliners sitting at the end of the bar going, what the fuck is going on? Like, that club should be flooded with female headliners.
There you go. Another reason to book Laurie Kilmartin. Yes. And I think actually the Gentleman's Club burned down. So I'm sure so that stopped that guy's revenue stream. And the bartender.
Right? I mean, it's every server that's heard the Gentleman's Club joke every single week. That would be my top 5 suspects of who burned down the Gentleman's Club. Like, I can't fucking hear these hacks make the same joke every time. Remember at Jokers in Dayton? Did you ever work that one Melissa Grigsby did? She
No.
had a list in the green room of the hack references that comics would need. Here's the local strip club. Here's the local mall name. Here's this. Here's that. And it's like the fact that you would just. I mean, you know what? There were so many comics that were grateful for that list. I guess it was necessary at that time. That was the 90s, guys. I mean, luckily, hack comedy's gone away. We don't do hack anymore.
That's awesome. Yeah. I feel like I've seen that list somewhere currently. I don't even know. I think there's something up high in the green room at the Comedy Works South in outside Denver that has some sort of list of something, just some sort of weird kind of hacky little local reference. And I never noticed it. And then I look up and I was like, what the hell is that doing there? And the horrible thing about this story, I don't know what it said. Okay.
Don't help hacks. How about that? Make them Google shit at least, right?
Right. Well, I will say this is that so next week I'm in Grand Rapids in Dr. Grin's, and so I did a local interview, and this woman is super nice. I liked her so much, and it was a Zoom interview, and she was like, "I'm going to take clips of this if that's okay." And I'm like, "Of course, of course." She takes out the worst. I mean, it wasn't her fault. I just liked her so much
What, you
that
were
I
really boring or something?
almost I sounded like a Bitcoin dude bro with a lizard, like a tinfoil hat. She pulled out like this. I was like, so I had to email her when she sent it to me, and I said, "You gotta do me a favor. No one's coming to the show based on this video. They're gonna think I'm a nut. If you could sort of pull something out that has something to do with my act, that'd be great." She was like, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Okay." And she did. But it was just it was this elaborate theory I have about the reason for climate issues. And I mean, and I was like, wow, Jackie, you just started talking. Nobody even asked you what your opinion was. But she did take it down. The other exciting news in my life this week is Facebook has said that I can no longer do any ads. Well, they didn't like the ad. They rejected my ad from a week ago that I was trying to do for Dr. Grins, and it was about the healthcare industry. It was essentially the first half of that thing about my dad.
Yeah.
And
Right,
then
I know that story.
Right, so that was the first half of that story. So I take that down, and I put the second half of that story, which is mostly about him helping this guy because he wants a free cup of coffee. And they reject that ad and tell me that I can no longer do any ads because
Oh.
because
Why did they go to those limits?
I think they think that I'm telling people how to like it's financial advice and I'm not qualified or something. Like I think that might be what's lighting them up. But I have appealed, so we'll see, I guess.
On stage during the bit, right? You're not
No?
talking.
Well, I'm just saying the first half of the bit I say don't pay, just send them $5 a month. They can't put a link. I am sort of giving financial advice that my father gave, right?
It's a comic, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And you have it tagged like jokes and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird. I was like, "You don't want my $200? All right. I guess I'll send out an email."
A lot of money. And were you were going to spend $200 on Dr. Grin's ads?
Yeah. 4 days, $50 a day.
No, like maybe not much money, but I'm not making. It's like I can't keep going, getting less money for gigs.
Right.
That doesn't work, you know.
Right. That's not how earning a living works at all. So, whatever. I'm in Chicago.
I love the den. It's great. It's a nice room. How is it?
It is a nice room. He won't book me all by my lonesome, not even for the upstairs rooms, which is unfortunate. But I do love the Lincoln Lodge, so I'm okay. But the den's gorgeous, and Maria's been, selling out. We did 3 shows so far. We got 2 more, and she's working on her new hour, and I'm working on my new hour in 25-minute chunks, 25-minute chunks. It's really hard. I forget how hard it is to pick the jokes to go on a new album. Just because, are they done? Are they going to be more?
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, I think I have like 35 minutes maybe since Sis Woke Grief Slut. So
It's great.
Not enough for an album, It's
Mhm.
all taken its time. the den guy outright told you he wouldn't book you by yourself?
No, that's not how comedy club bookers do it. I submit my avails every 3 to 6 months, and he ignores me and occasionally says, I can't do this, or it's not happening, or, whatever. Yeah. I mean, it seats 300. I don't think I could fill a 300. I mean, but they have a mailing list too.
Like, you 300 people in Chicago would love to see you if they knew you were there. That's what I always think about you and me. Like, why don't they know we're here? It's not like we're bombing on stage. We're having great shows, Like, there are more people here in Arizona that would fucking love me. I don't know where they are. Do they know I'm here? Do they know about stand-up comedy? I don't know.
Right. I don't know. It's and this is the mic drop. It's not Tom's thing, right? Stir crazy. So how big is mic drop?
Like it's in Chandler. It's right off of kind of it's part of a strip mall drag downtown, not drag, strip mall downtown area. So like the door opens right into the showroom. Like the front door, there's like chairs immediately, and there's the stage right there. And you use the same bathrooms as the audience, so I have to be much more careful of my noises, Jackie.
The more you describe this venue, I'm like, oh, I've played here. Each sort of like, oh yeah, sorry.
It's a small room, but it's a really fun room, and the setup's nice, and you can't, so far it seems like you can't have a bad set there, because I'm working with Cricket Gill and Danny Dunn, and they're doing great. Like, everyone's doing great. It's just like, I don't know. And they did a lot of promoting too. They took a bunch of my clips and, added dates on them and stuff. And I paid for advertising here. Not $200 for the week though, but it's like, okay, what, like, how else, I don't know. I'm not.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. But does it seat like 100, or does it seat 120, or is it bigger than?
I don't know. I'm not really good at judging that. So I will ask. And then next Saturday, when you text me to do a podcast, I'll let you know.
You'll be home next Saturday, though, so it'll be great. Yeah, no, next week I can do it because it'll be right before Christmas, and I'll get home from Dr. Grins on the Sunday. Oh, so I am doing that VR thing. I might have told you this story already. I wonder if I did last week. But I finally got a hold of sort of the contract and the details about it. And funny business, they love to spell things out, which means somebody hurt them once.
Someone sued them?
No, somebody didn't show up. Somebody,
I see. Right.
Some comic stole the iron out of the condo. I mean.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, right.
Because I'm supposed to do 20 minutes. Supposedly they're just going to use it on whatever Meta owns. And that's in perpetuity. So Meta may one day own Sirius XM. And but my favorite parts of the bullet points were you have to do material. Clearly, somebody just did 20 minutes of.
Or they just riffed, or they just. I love it. And they took their money and they went home.
They're like, thank you very much.
Whichever comic caused that rule is my hero. We should have a hero of the week. And it's some comic who fucked over the industry a little bit.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Right, so you have to do material. And for some weird reason, they're like, you have to spend at least 60 minutes writing a set list. That's what they wanted.
Oh, you told me that. How would they? Oh my God. So someone heard that, obviously, and was like, all right, here's my jokes, right? Like that, really sarcastically. And then they came up with 60 minutes with the arbitrary.
Right. And then they have to have it.
You can't use the hack list, okay? You have to come up with your own gentleman's club's references.
Exactly. Maybe I'll just hold that up, except for that it's VR, so no one will be able to see any of this. And then there's a 60-minute tech rehearsal that you have to go to. So I assume somebody rolled out of bed and was like, "No, I once played a game on VR. It'll be fine." And so, but I do look forward to like what my avatar is gonna be. Right? Maybe I can. You know how I could just completely, I could make it something copyrightable, like essentially um, like Snoopy.
Oh, and so they couldn't use it in perpetuity? Oh,
I
brilliant.
wouldn't do that,
Jackie,
but it would be.
you're about to cause a new rule. Avatars, a snappy from the Peanuts collection. Jackie, do it. I'm serious.
I know, but I'm such a people pleaser.
Those work. Yes. No.
I'm such a, right.
What? Jackie, you didn't please me this morning. All right.
I
So
did,
I would say
right.
you're not the people pleaser you think you are.
Right. So was I talking to Carmen Morales, and I was saying how Andy thinks he has ADHD. And I was like, well, we probably all have ADHD, but I also think that he's working on a book that's a game, a tabletop book, and the game, and he's working on 2 board games. He teaches game design, and he's working on a video game with a guy. So it might not be ADHD. It might be he has. And Carmen said this. She was like, or she's like, because you probably have ADHD too. I think that's why I get along with you guys so much. You just have to learn how to say no. And because he's working on too many, it's like us, right? I mean, there's so many different projects.
No. You can't say no to anything. We're all being forced into ADHD also because of tech and having to be online all the time. You don't have any fucking downtime to read a novel. When I read a novel, it's 4 pages at night and then I fall asleep because I'm so fucking tired. Like it took me about 3 months to read The Sympathizer, and it's a great book and I loved every page of it, but I could only read it at night. I can't read during the day because I'm like I should be doing something productive. I
I
cannot,
know.
like, I want to quit everything just so I can read for a year, just get away and read novels for a year and then come back. But I can't afford it.
That we both know just went away for a silent retreat for 6 days where they couldn't talk, which is into the chat I go, into the chat.
To hear all about it, but hold on. I'm excited to.
You know them.
Oh.
Hey.
And
Oh.
and chatty magoos
Yeah.
as much as we are, right? And they said it was amazing. They said it really recharged. You just end up sitting by a tree.
Of other people.
Mm-hmm.
No one's talking. You can't even talk or mumble to yourself.
Right? Or
How do you
read.
go over your jokes? You can't read.
Nope. Can't read.
What do? You just stare? You exist without inputs?
Right, you live with the inner dialogue.
How much was it? Did you get a ballpark?
I don't know. It might have been free. I have a friend from my last day job that did one that was free, and they had different, and it was up in the Bay Area somewhere, like on the ocean though. Like San Jose, like south of the Bay Area or south of San Francisco.
Array, Half Moon Bay type of thing.
So, yeah, something like that. And then you could sit on a cliff and not throw yourself over it if you could stand your own voice inside your head for a week or 2. And just it was super. Everyone who's done it says it's super recharging.
I mean, I'm just thinking as a second business running something like that, you don't have to deal with there's going to be no complaints because they can't talk to you. Like you just go, here's your cabin. I don't want to see you for a week.
No, I think that there's some yoga or somebody, I don't know, an EDMR. I don't know. Maybe there's tapping. You can't tell.
That really helped me. I did that for a little bit for my swim coach thing. That was very helpful.
The EDMR?
EMDR to anyone
Okay,
who's heard about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My therapist, when I had a therapist back in, I think 2000, I went to a therapist from 99 to 2002, and now I'm better.
Good for you.
Yes, she was so funny because she was like, I think, and I have like 5 years later or something, I sent her a thank you card or I called her and I was like, I actually still feel good. And she was like, yeah, it's because you did the work and you processed all the BS that we all have from our childhoods, where you're mad at your parents and then you're sad at yourself and then you're the victim, but you're also the perpetrator of the things that you've done and the things that were done to you. And she's like, you processed it all because you were willing to do the work. And yeah, whatever you're creating, whatever wreckage you're creating right now might have to be dealt with in the future, but
This is a few years ago, for a few years, and I think I just stopped going and he stopped making appointments because the consensus was I was stuck with a child and a mother who lived with me, and no amount of therapy could change those conditions. And I was like, I'm tired of saying the same thing every week. I'm just here. This is it. My mom I brought my mom to therapy once with me, and she walked out after 10 minutes. That one. And then we tried another one where we did separate therapies where this was like a cheaper one in Burbank.
Okay.
It was like
Yeah.
like brand new therapist or something. And so she went in for an hour and then I would go in and then, or whatever. I don't know how, I forget how we split it. And then we go together like for the last few minutes. I should hunt. I'm dying to find out what she said. Am I allowed? Am I allowed to ask that therapist? Like, she's dead now. I'd like to know what she said, because she is a riddle to me. Still, my mother. I'm like, what was happening there? And I want to know this therapist's thoughts. Please. I have not solved her.
Right. You might as well ask. Probably not, but you can ask. Did you ever read that Cool, Calm, and Contentious by Meryl Marco? Yeah, because it was about her mom. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, but right now, but I liked it. I remember liking it. That's the other problem with me and any sort of reading, is I love it in the moment, and then a month later, I don't know what happened.
My favorite line in Cool, Calm, and Contentious is because it was about essentially how critical her mother was and could be. And after her mother passed, she found a copy of, I think it was Oliver Twist, Dickens, and written in the margin,
notes, yeah.
Not his best work.
My God.
But that book is my favorite of Meryl Marco's, even though she has several that I like, obviously. And
it's 32.
we should do it.
Yeah,
we should do a break. And we should do the comic of the week.
We're up. It is Sharp. Jozalyn, she lives in Vegas. Kyle knows her. She popped up on my Instagram. I thought she was really funny. And Kyle knows her, and she runs a Vegas show that's a little dirty.
She is a Vegas comedian. She for a long time has had a late night show at the Stratosphere that I've had the good fortune of doing, that is built around just doing absolute filth, which is of course my favorite thing in the world. She is truly one of my favorite comedians. The things that she will say sometimes will make you clutch your pearls in a delightful way, and she's just pure energy. I've been a fan for many years.
That's great. What's her handle?
It's at Jozalyn Sharp, JOZALYNSHARP. Get on it.
Yeah, Jozalyn, guys. JOZA. Okay.
I have a question about sort of the definition, because I was on Ari Shaffir's Dirty Show as well. And when people do dirty material, is it just, because you guys know I have some sex jokes. I have some stuff. Could I be on a dirty show? What am I? Do I have to like pull my intestines out and throw it on the stage and go, look, it's bloody and gross. Let's fuck it. It just seems.
I think the way you speak about intercourse is part of what would make a dirty show funny, because you're bringing such a specific language to it that would sort of play in with the rest of the crowd, like same subject matter, but a different approach to it verbally, and less stool humping.
Like, if you're the fourth comic on a dirty show, you're doomed. New words to say vagina. You got like everything has been said. Somebody will just ruin it, right? The first person going up will use everything, and you're just like, you know what? I would like. There should be more mean shows instead of dirty show. The mean show, where it's just mean fucking jokes, mean punching down. Every single joke hits somebody vulnerable.
Those guys are
Why not?
doing stadiums. That doesn't that's what you're talking about.
Like no, I mean lazy mean. I mean that's lazy mean in a way. You know what I'm saying? But it's not good mean. It's not gasp mean. It's more like, oh, you said the R word. It's more like that's more like trying to get cheers from dumb shits. That's not actually mean comedy. It's going for applause breaks,
Right.
But
You
from
want to
bad people.
The thing is you're the only one who I know is good at that. So
we're being held back by these soft audiences that moan. Okay, but if we say on the hour, we're going after dying people, we're going after loved ones, we're going after
dogs,
yes, dogs,
cats. Could you please call your next album Soft Audience? Soft Audiences. Excuse me. I'm better. I'm back now. I just had to laugh out loud a lot.
Can I log off now?
Right? You got that big. It is. So the problem is as I had someone come up to me almost whispering last night, you're just the stuff is just so smart. And I'm like, yeah, don't tell anyone, I guess.
I'm so sorry your brain works at a higher level. It's killing your career.
But then she did say, she said, I got so much cred with my friends who had never been to a comedy club or never saw stand up. And I was like, oh, good. I mean, and then I said, what about, the history of the tulip bulb and the Greek myth of Sisyphus that Maria are both doing? Those are my two favorite jokes of hers right now, as far as obscure, awesome references, right? She's also doing this thing where she did it first show last night, I think. First time that I've seen her do it as a closer, where she takes advice from the audience as her mother.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
She gives advice, right? Or
gives advice. Sorry.
Yeah,
backwards. And she's also doing this thing, and she's been working on this for a while, but where she talks to someone in the audience, and the woman she picked, or the woman who wanted to talk to her, was a sex worker. And so it was fascinating because she got to call back to it, probably 4 or 5 times, because she did it. She's trying to, I think she's opening with that big money Grimace chunk. And so she talked to the person in the audience, and then she got to reference it back like 3 or 4 times. It was pretty great.
Jackie, not me. I love them. I love it. Set it up early and then hit it all night long.
Out of the park. I tend to write these jokes that are so big and the fact that I've just come up with a new one that encompasses several different parts. Like, since I've decided to call the next album as part of a trilogy and call it Altercation, I want to pull that old man story back. And then I also want to, and I've got the Karen story. And it's got all this anger stuff, and it's just too big again. I had almost gotten it down to different size chunks, and now it's enormous again.
Put on your lumberjack outfit and start chopping.
Somebody give me an axe. Some fan of the Jackie and Laurie show told me he was coming tonight. He was going to bring me 500 tiny buttons that said different things. I don't know. I still have about 40 of the ones that he brought me when I played the Lincoln Lodge. He has a button machine and a copier, obviously.
500 of is $100 bills. Keep your buttons.
They're usually pretty clever, so, and it's nice because then I can just sort of scatter them across the merch table and people can have them because he, he's like, just give them away.
Merch. I have no merch still. Yeah. I made this video about someone calling me woke and how much I loved it and I appreciated it, and then how horny it made me being woke and.
Right.
I just tagged it, go woke, get soaked, as in my vagina, Jackie.
Wait, explain it to me again. Wait, are you saying you still get wet at this late
As
date?
usual. Jackie, I do. Kyle, please dim your screen. Yes, I still get wet. Now, that was a marriage slam.
Right. I just
Going to the podcast, right?
Well, here's
this
something I didn't know.
hotel.
Yeah,
Can I just say this hotel keeps texting me about how my stay is going? It's fine. I don't need. I'll let you know if there's a problem. You have a bed. I'm sleeping in it. Except when I get woken up by a text from Jackie. Yes.
Can you?
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
Someone in my comments was like, "Oh, that should be a shirt. Go woke, get soaked," or that should be merch.
Nope. That's where I keep my vagina. Everyone wants that to be a shirt too, and they're out of their damn minds. Here's what I'll do. I would love to see your new hour, and I will help because
to have a new hour. I as I said, I have about 35 minutes.
I know,
and I'm sick of 28 of it already. So I need to get the other 25 so I can dump this material I'm sick of.
Right. So what are the topics of this 35, do you think?
That's that. I mean, who knows what the topics are? I just have the name of the bits. That's it.
Bullet points. Yeah. There's a casino across the...
You trying to do to me what you want someone to do to you right now is... let's look at these bits. Hold on, Professor. Tell me thematically. Is that what you're trying to get?
No, I don't want anyone to do that to me. You're correct. But I was willing to do it to you. How do you feel about that? Okay. So we're staying in downtown Chicago, and blessedly there's a coffee shop right next door called Goddess and the Baker, and I love that. I think it's a small chain here in Chicago, and I had like an apple cranberry pastry and a cup of coffee, and then I bought as backup a cold brew. So, but right around the corner from this thing is a casino, not an Indian casino, just a casino, a Bally's. And so I was like, I was wondering if it was an Indian casino. That's a great excuse. I might have an addictive personality.
Calling them Indian casinos and not Native American. Oh, okay.
To my knowledge, I mean, I don't know how to. I'm calling the people Native Americans. I'm calling the casinos Indian casinos.
Its language is always evolving and changing, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the people that own them are calling them Indian casinos, then I guess we still are too.
And I have to say this: if I've offended an Indian casino, please call me. But it wasn't. It was just like a money mill, right? It was just a Vegas level, and I walked in because I have chapped lips, which is why my lips are so red and rosy, and because they're about to fall off of my face, and I the CVS across the street was closed, so I went into the casino to see if they had a gift shop that had overpriced chapstick because I was in so much pain that but they didn't have a gift shop at all. I was like, "What do you mean you don't have a gift shop? You're leaving money on the table." And they
When you go full Elliot on businesses you have nothing to do with.
nothing to do with it. And but once I was in the casino, of course, I was like, "Oh, well maybe I'll just play a little blackjack." So I have spent some money at the casino, is what I'm saying.
Ben has 9 jobs, Jackie, and ADHD. All right, stay out of the casino. Let him quit
Stay
one.
out of the casino. Leave it alone. But I had to come back to this room and use on my face moisturizer to go to sleep because my lips hurt so much, and it does make you not want to lick your lips because it's gross.
You've been in so many hotels the past 3 weeks that I'm sure your face is just getting pummeled with this bad air. It's not good to be in hotels as much as we are. It's terrible for your skin.
Right, it's not good. It's hey, let's take another break. And yeah, I am doing a couple of things. So I'm waking up because of the state of the nation. And I am waking up and doing sort of 20 minutes of prayer and meditation in an effort to start my day in a way. I have a list of things to be grateful for that I work through.
I don't see my name on that list. I scanned it very quickly.
And yeah, sadly, this is a list from Louise Hay. I don't know if you ever read her.
Hey, I thought she was going to change my life.
Well, she's fine. It's a tool, like affirmations and prayer and meditation are a tool. So I do that, and then my friend Nina sent me some. She goes, he's a little broy, but he's not wrong, and it's sort of a stretching to get your lymph nodes going or something in the morning, because we only have there's only 2 that come out of our brain, it turns out, and they're on the either side of our necks. And you're supposed to do this thing. And so I watched that video, and so I stretch, and then I do a glass of water, because I should drink more water and less coffee. And but that's actually felt pretty good. I've only done it for 2 days, but I feel better, saner.
It's a new habit. It's a life-changing habit.
It could be.
Attacked by middle-aged incel men right now. I just I posted this little clip from WGN where I told them, the news anchors, to hook me up with the fix-it guy they had on earlier, and I said I have something he can clog. Right, and I said I was a single mom. Somehow it went into some men's rights. I don't know. Someone sent out a call to angry old men, angry middle-aged men to complain about me.
Right. If we know anybody who's 120 years old, that's not middle-aged. They're older, and so are they just giving you the business in the comments?
Yeah, just a little angry at women sort of stuff. If it was weird, I just woke up to it this morning, and you. But I did. But after you made me cry, I went on my Instagram to be cheered up, and then there was just a bunch of 60-year-old men telling me I suck.
So I'm doing this thing about the made of bees thing, right? So now that I have this umbrella thing of so much anger and trying to deal with anger, I got to write it out today before the first show. But I kind of want to go to the casino, and I kind of want to go to a museum or a bookstore because I'm out of books. But I was just literally not shouting, but because I'm amplified, there's no need to shout. it turns out that there's already a mic. But I'm so like I'm trying to work on all this rage stuff and processing of it that a guy came up to me after the second show. During the second show, I was setting up the merch table, and he was like, he looked like I was going to hit him, and I was like, no, not you. It's not every. It's not every guy, though. Of course, I can't tell anymore. It's harder, and but yeah, I have to. Yeah, I have to. I think I might just have to listen back and do some notes.
Your umbrella is anger, and maybe there's different types of anger you could slot these bits into and then categorize it that way. I don't know.
And the different processing of it, it's all of that. I have to write it out. I have to draw it out and sort of figure out what I'm doing, and then practice it would help so that I know where I'm going when I get on stage. Because right now it's rawr, 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 rawr. Bark, 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 bark. Not helpful. People,
Like
though, I will say this: so many women have come up to me after the show, bought a hat, and said, "I just related to your incoherent rage." They have not said incoherent. They didn't say incoherent.
You can hear me all the time. Am I cutting out, or sometimes?
Yeah, a little bit. But
it takes a minute before you start talking before it picks up.
Didn't tell me this, but somebody told me, I forget the comic, something Gary said maybe on one of his tips, where like if you don't have anything new, just add to what you currently have, which is how he ends up with these like 10-minute stories. So I guess that's what I'm trying to do right now, because I have a couple new things, but I don't know if they're so loose and random. I don't know where to put them in my act, and so I don't know. They might just stay in their little place. Maybe I would have a section called loose random jokes, and I would just do those and then go back to more, stories or longer bits. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no way to know until you talk out loud on stage, it turns out. Yeah.
But categorizing where you put material, like you can have these independent jokes that work really well, but if you're not a one-liner comic, they have to go someplace, they have to be tucked in someplace, and sometimes they don't tuck. And it's like, oh, do I write around this whole joke and make it a huge chunk? Or, I don't know. I have always have little strays that don't have a home, but that they'll get a laugh on like a 10-minute set where you don't have to create anything,
That's
but
it.
in an hour or 45 minutes or something, it's all of a sudden they come out of nowhere,
Yeah, like in the second show, I got in my head about too much stuff, and so I was like, just do the old space joke, see if there's anything there, and that's exactly what that is. That's like a loose, almost. It's not topical because the space program it's going to take forever, but it's about the Artemis project and going to Mars, right? And so I have that joke, and I have like the red hat joke that I've only done twice, but it's clipped out, so I kind of feel like it's done. And
that's the problem with clipped out joke. You do like you're clipped out, to put out new content, but then you're like, oh, do I work on, what would I work on it? Do I make it more? Probably, of course, always. And obviously I'm not Matt Rife, so not everyone on earth is seeing my clipped out jokes,
Right.
So
right.
There's a limited audience of people who have seen it. So I just should pretend that it never got clipped out and just keep, building.
I just reposted that Snoopy joke on a different set, and it was so many people were like, I've never even heard, this is a great examination of gender. And I was like, yes, that's 4 years old. Thank you so much.
Heard it? Oh my God. And so you just took it from a stand-up set as opposed from the special?
Yeah. Just a different version of the joke.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a different coat. Congratulations. It's a whole brave new world.
Been busy with other projects, potential, whatever. So I haven't had as much time to sit and clip stuff out. Like I have a bunch of sets that I want to clip out that have like crowd work. Ryan from Bend gave me, he has iPhone video of when I had that woman kicked out, and I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but if it's even halfway decent, I will post that, because that was fun and awkward and uncomfortable.
John DeBoer, he only got the clip, this is probably a year and a half ago or 2 times ago when I was at Acme, where I kicked out the front table. And he has there was like there were 3 two-tops, and I didn't know they were together, but they wouldn't stop. 2 tables wouldn't stop talking to me.
Talking about this, yeah, right.
Yeah, and the one woman who I told to stop talking, I was like, "You have got to shut up," and she's like, "No, I'm good."
Fucking, I salivated kicking people out like that. Oh my God. No one in society, we all have to put up with that shit. And we comics don't.
We
can go, no, get out. Oh, it's so satisfying.
So when I told her to get out, she didn't leave. She said, "No, I don't have to go." And so I said, "Okay, well then I will. And then I'll come back when you're gone."
Right.
First time ever. I walk off stage. I walk that side thing to the bar at Acme, and I see Carlos, and I'm like, "I don't know what happens now, Carlos. How do I get back on stage?"
This is uncharted territory, Carlos. Help me.
But the good news is the one of the managers walked up to her right after I got off stage and said, "I think that's your cue to leave, ma'am." And he escorted her out.
So she left, and then you went back up on stage. Did you interact with her as she came out?
Nope.
I love it. And the audience applaud?
Yes. And so John DeBoer, as soon as I walked off stage, started filming the audience. And they just started sort of mumble. And then I walked back out, and then a huge applause break, because I was afraid that they were going to be, I'm always afraid everyone's going to be mad at me. And they were not. They were psyched. And then I went back into my act.
I don't know. I mean, this culminates in people shooting CEOs, but the fact that there's no accountability for bad behavior anytime in the society, that people just keep getting away with either crimes or things that should be crimes, or just being fucking rude at a public place, is so irritating. And so I that's what people love it when you use your authority, and I don't use it all the I would rather solve it by joking and shutting somebody down by embarrassing them or something, right?
And letting them stay for the show. Yes.
I don't want the drama of a walkout, but if there's nothing else and they can't change their behavior, they can't realize, oh, I'm a little drunk, they don't have a loved one going, shut the fuck up, then it is so fun to see them walked out. So fun.
The best. And I have to say that I mean, my thing is someone's like, "Well, do you talk to the audience?" And I'm like, "No, I talk at the audience. I'm telling them stories. I'm telling them jokes. I'm literally, I hope you love it." And I need a third animal joke, by the way, because my sheep joke, I have 2 references. Go ahead.
Dogs are boys, cats are girls. Go, take it.
Thanks. Oh my God, the dogs. So Andy, I take our 2 the tiniest Iditarod, right? I take the 2 Chihuahua mixes out for a walk the other morning right before I left, and all of a sudden, galumphing around the house, 3 unleashed Lucy Magoo huskies. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. And I'm like, back in house, back in house, back in house. I don't want anything. And so I go back in, and I forget that Andy has had dogs forever. And his dad used to train dogs, and his job, he had a job in junior high, I digress, but his job in junior high when he came home from school was to ride his dad's horse and make the horse do everything it didn't want to do. Well, it was one of his chores.
You married a man who was trained at a young age to make animals behave a certain way? Jackie. I need you to look into this.
Fair enough. So, but we get back into the house and he's like, give me one of the leashes. And so I give him, because he's like, they have collars. Let's see if they've got tags on them. So he takes one of the leashes and he goes out and where the 3 dogs are just milling around our front yard. And he goes, and I just hear him go, look at you good boys. Look at you good boys. And then,
No.
so he clips, it's an older dog and 2 younger dogs, but they're all 50, 70-pound huskies, right? So he clips one on and he leads them to the backyard, to the gate of the backyard. He opens the gate and they're a family, so they all come in. And then he
God.
spends the next 5 hours trying to figure out whose dogs they are. And I was like, is there a time when you're willing to call the pound? Because I have to pack my merch back there. And he's like, they're nice. They're going to be fine. And so I go back
Aw.
and they're jumping on me and I'm petting them because they are super nice. So after a couple of hours, he's like, I'm going to take the older one and go a block over and knock on doors, see if anybody recognizes the dog. And so he clips the older one and he takes her through the gate. The other 2 dogs sail over our 5.5-foot fence.
Oh.
Clearly that's how they escaped.
Oh, of course. Right. Oh my God.
But he ends up finding the guy. And the guy is it's this guy who's got a really big front yard with like that green mesh, like tarps covering his old fences. And behind that fence,
Yes.
what?
So beautiful. I love that look.
So beautiful. Such a great
I
look.
love tarps in the front yard.
But he's got a used car lot essentially on his front lawn because it's Van Nuys. Why wouldn't he? And so, but Andy, he brings the dogs back and the guy's like, would you like some money? And Andy's like, no, this is fine. He's like, can I give you a hug? And Andy's like, sure. And then the guy goes, if you need a used car.
You guys have a hookup.
You do need a used car.
Yeah, at some point, yes.
All right. Oh, interesting.
All right.
All right. Hey, we went over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It was a story about Andy. I did not yell at you. I saw that tick past the 1 hour mark, and I was like, let's let it play. It's about Andy.